The Disney news is on its way.
This monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
We shine the light inside the park. Lights and laughter everywhere.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas.
So clear. The Monorail Report is here. Jump aboard and feel the cheer. The Monorail Report is here. The Monorail Report is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety, please remain behind the yellow line on the platform or behind the gates once you disembark the monorail.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday, September 5th. We're going to get started with the Monorail Report here. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. I think this is the date that the show will land on. As far as I can tell, we should be right here Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully, that's where we end up staying. Just depending on work schedules. But I think this is a cool way to kind of lead into the weekend. So we'll see. Hopefully that works out. So appreciate you all being here. We'll cover some news. We'll talk about some happenings in the parks. We'll talk about D23 a little bit. Actually, that's where most of our news comes from today, as the D23 events of last weekend. And then we will, of course, talk about Beyond the Click, our clickbait segment. So we'll do all of that. So we can get into the news. So this week was D23, and this is Destination D23, which is not the big show that we're all, accustomed to out in California. When you have that one is normally the show. That's where you get the huge announcements. You remember last year, that's where we heard the announcement about Starlight Parade. That's where we heard about, Villains Land, Cars Land, Monsters, just all the big announcements last year. This one is Destination D23. Let me see, go back here. So Destination D23 was this past weekend. And so this is a smaller event. You're going to have a lot of panels. But we did still get a good amount of parks news. They actually took out Destination D23 used to have a parks panel, and they actually took that out this year. But so that kind of told us we weren't going to get like any news, but we actually did still get some decent announcements from it. So we're going to go over that. So for the first time since 2013, Buzz Lightyear is going to be in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So you'll have Spider-Man, you'll have Minnie Mouse, and you'll have Buzz Lightyear. So that was announced this past weekend. So that's kind of cool. They also talked a lot about some of the movies and entertainment, not just the parks. And so here you have the upcoming movie schedule from Pixar. So you're going to have Hoppers next year. You have Toy Story 5 coming out. You have Gato, which I know is probably going to be very big in this house because Finley loves cats. So we'll see what that one is. That is a Pixar. Actually, these are all Pixar's. You have Incredibles 3, which was announced sometime last year. And Coco 2 should be somewhere in 2028 or so. So I think that one looks like they're just now getting started with the concept on it, but we'll see where that one goes. I know my son Jay will be excited for that one because Coco is his favorite Disney movie. Hello, Paige. Good to see you. Frederick Gallagher, thanks for tuning in. All right, so they also did announce that starting September 15th, you're going to have a red overlay at Tron, both in Shanghai and in Florida, to celebrate the Tron Ares movie coming out, which comes out in October, but the overlay is going to start September 15th. You'll also have music from Nine Inch Nails because they're doing the soundtrack to the new movie. So the prior movie was Daft Punk, and this one is Nine Inch Nails. So we'll see how that turns out. I always thought that, that canopy with the LED lights, they could certainly do more. So I'm glad to see that they are turning it red for Tron Ares. So you'll have that overlay mixed in with the traditional overlay. I don't know that it was stated that you're going to be facing Team Red, or if you're going to be Team Red, or if the inside of the ride is going to stay the same. But we'll see what happens there. I mean, we're just 10 days away from that overlay, so that'll be pretty cool. We'll have to see which one of the streamers in the network ends up showing that first. A lot of them don't do Tron because you can't hold a gimbal while you're on it, so you have to have some sort of chest mount or harness in order to do the ride. And then if you do that, you are kind of flying blind because you can't see your controls, whether you're lagging or not. So a lot of them don't like to do that. So we'll see who ends up showing that one first. Certainly you can show it from the outside. Also in movie news, Ice Age Boiling Point comes out February 27th. So that should be pretty cool, I think, with Disney putting their spin on the Ice Age franchise. It should be a lot of fun. So we'll see how that plays out. And, I mean, 27's a little bit ways away, a year and a half or so. So we'll see if that means that they add the meet and greets to the park, or obviously there's going to be merch. But we'll see if they add meet and greets to the park or anything like that. You also have Hex coming out next fall. So another new movie from Disney. This one's straight Disney. The biggest news, I think that people, I don't know. There were a couple announcements, so I don't know if this would be the biggest one, but many people were ecstatic about hearing that the classic color scheme is coming back to Cinderella Castle with the blues, grays, and creams instead of the pinkish top half that it has now. So let me know in chat. Let me know in the comments. Are you a fan of this? Have you been waiting for this? Hoping for this? I know that there was certainly a roar in the crowd when this was announced. So it sounds like people have been waiting for this one for a while. And if you, just to go back, if you think about it, someone on Facebook, I think it was, said that, if you look at most castles, most actual castles, there's not a lot of color to them. They're grays, and maybe you have a hint of gold, and, Cinderella is obviously going to have the blue, but the pink doesn't really go in, so I get it. This one, I wish I could go back and find where if I talked about it, or maybe I just dreamt about it and never said it in public, but I've been saying that this is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. That's how it's stated in the parks. So why not have Walt introducing it? So I am excited to see this one. This is a major update for Carousel of Progress. Walt Disney will introduce Carousel of Progress. So if you remember in Carousel of Progress, when you go in the beginning, that first scene, the narrator tells you, it's been a long-running show. Walt Disney's started this during the World's Fair, and it just seems like a perfect time for Walt to describe it. So I'm excited to see how this comes out. I think it's going to be a different animatronic from what we have in Disneyland, specifically because of the time that Walt would be introducing this. I think is different than how he would look when he's introducing the show in Disneyland. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I am certainly looking forward to that. If he's going to be dressed as he is here, with a cardigan and a shirt and tie rather than a suit, I think it also gives a little different feel to him than where he's dressed in the suit. So I kind of like that. More of a Mr. Rogers look than business suit attire. So we'll see. October 26th, you're going to have, October 6th, Cali is going to close for its normal work that it needs every year. There's no reopening date, but they believe that it's going to be before the rest of Dinoland closes at the beginning of February, which is also why they think that they moved it up to October, because normally it doesn't close until January, February, which makes sense. It's a water ride, so having it, you don't really need it running during the winter, but they are taking it out of commission during the fall, and the belief is that it's because you're going to be losing Dinoland, you're going to be losing the dinosaur ride February 6th. The Boneyard is already closed. Restaurantosaurus is closing when the rest of Dinoland closes. So you need to have as many rides in that park, especially because that park doesn't have a lot of rides. So you need as many rides as you can get over there. So that's why we think they're going to be closing it early there. So as I just said, beginning February 2nd, Dinosaur, Restaurantosaurus, and all of Dinoland will be officially closed to make way for Tropical Americas. Interestingly enough, items at Restaurantosaurus are going to be moving to the menu at Harambe Market. Meet and greets with Chip and Dale, Daisy, and Donald will be moved elsewhere in the park, and they'll be letting us know soon. So we were over there Monday, to pick up our crush magnet, which I have to get that from Catherine. She still has my magnet. I just looked over there where I keep my magnets. So we walked back there and we were trying to figure out where are they going to close, where are they going to start to wall off Dinoland. And I thought they were going to do it right at the bridge there, but probably not, because you still have the walkway to get to the theater in the wild where Big Blue Beyond is. So, and the access is still going to be there from what they said. So I guess they're going to close it off right beyond that walkway. But we were looking, and there is a ton of space back there where Dinoland is. I mean, with everything that they've already closed off, where the carnival games were, and that other ride that they closed a long time ago, there's a lot of space back there. So I think this is going to turn out to be really, really cool. And most of what's behind that scrim wall's already been flattened, cleared. They're ready to go back there. So I think we're in good shape to see Tropical Americas sooner rather than later. So we will see. We also did meet Donald when we were there on Monday. And we were thinking, could they find someplace? It's pretty easy to find to find someplace to do the meet and greet. So I think they're going to certainly do that somewhere else in the park. So Universal Destinations and Experiences Chairman Mark Woodbury had an interesting thing to say this last week. And what he said was, our chief competitor, Disney, is a strong competitor. They're going to be investing pretty heavily in the market as well. I think it's a case of all ships rise with the tide. We'll both drive audience to the marketplace and we'll be able to take our share of it. So when we did our Epic Universe topic podcast, we talked a lot about that. And of course, there are people that, when Epic was getting ready to open, a lot of the Disney haters said, Disney is going to fail. They're going to fall now that Epic is opening. They have no shot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Epic opening was going to hurt some parks. However, Magic Kingdom is the most visited park in the world. And with that comes along Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. In that order, if I remember correctly, yes. So is it going to hurt those parks? Maybe. But you also have people that were going to go to Orlando this year, next year, because Epic was opening. And they hadn't gone. They were waiting for Epic to open. And when they get there, they're not just going to Epic and Universal and Islands of Adventure. They're also going to go to the 4 Disney parks, or some of them. So they are bringing people to Disney just like they're bringing people to Universal. And the same thing is going to happen with Disney over the next few years. As all these projects get moving and get opening, people are going to come back to the parks. And if they come back to Disney, they're also going to come back to Universal. And then by the time Disney finishes the majority of these new projects, Universal is going to announce the expansion of Epic Universe, right? We know that they're working on, they have all that extra land. They're already, thinking about what's going to be there. They probably already know what's going to be there. In fact, I think it was Mark that they were talking to that said, I can neither confirm nor deny a Wicked area. So something's coming. So, you have to realize that they need each other, and they know that. Who got hurt the most when Epic opened? I don't know, Gatorland Zoo maybe? Maybe Busch Gardens? If I have this big, beautiful park, Epic, now open, am I going to take the extra day to go to Tampa to go to Busch Gardens during my long vacation? Probably not. They're probably going to use that time to go to Universal. So I think that that's what we saw this year, and certainly next year as well. And then it will flip to Disney bringing in the people and Universal being able to share in that wealth. So Hoppers comes out from Pixar, comes out March 6th, 2026. And Dr. Disney was there the entire weekend at Destination D23. And here's what he had to say about Hoppers. He said, the music and the characters and the line delivery are all perfect. Really can't wait to see the whole film when it hits theaters March 6th. So I had asked him about it, and he said he did not expect to belly laugh as much as he did at a trailer for a movie. So I think that this will, and I mentioned to him, I was like, yeah, I could use a good, funny animated movie. And so it looks like this will really be a a funny movie. So I'm excited to see that when it comes out. So Gap and Disney announced a Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas collection that is available today at the Gap online. So they've got a ton of stuff for adults, kids. There you see hats, tops, kids' pajamas, kids' outfits. So plenty of stuff there for Nightmare Before Christmas available at the Gap. And D23 wrapped up. I thought that it was a very good event from the pieces of it that I saw. And next year, D23 is going to be August 14th, 15th, and 16th in Anaheim. Again, this is the bigger event where you're going to get a lot of the announcements. And so I'm already starting to think about, can I get there? So we will see. I would love to be able to cover that event for the network. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Hopefully we can. So hello, Jennifer Caruso. Good to see you. All right. So of course, this next segment, I want the DSN to be a strong source for actual news, for late breaking news, any type of event. So even over the weekend while I was in Disney, there were a couple things that popped up from Destination D23, and I quickly put it out there on the social media for DSN. And so that's what I want the DSN to be known for, is for breaking news, updates for the parks, updates for the parks worldwide, really. And that's what I'm trying to work on. And so in doing that, I have looked at other news sources and found these 4 news sources. I will not name them yet. I think at some point during the course of this show, not the broadcast, but this show, they may end up being named if they continue down the road that they are. Some of you already know some of them. But anyway, they deal in clickbait, and that's all that they want. And a lot of these, the 4 of them, they're actually owned by one company. 4 of them have, the majority of the 4 have over 1 million followers each. And it is just crazy to me that they have found this many people to reel into their nonsense. And so I'll show you a little bit of their nonsense. All right, so Dianca, hello. Good to see you. So here's one of their highlights. Disney World Budget Resort announces closure to all guests this month. So I must have missed where Disney is getting rid of a resort. They are working, they just opened the Island Tower over at Poly. They're working on Riverside Lodge, where River Country used to be. And that is going to be an absolute, if you have seen it on any of the streams or in person, you can see just how big that resort is. It's absolutely huge. So they need to continue to open resorts. They also certainly need budget, as they're calling it, budget resorts, or as we know it, value resorts. So why would they close a value resort? Because according to this, they're closing a value resort. Well, the actual headline here is that the Fantasia Pool at Art of Animation is closing for work. So that's the announcement of the closure to all guests this month. But when you read it, it says that a hotel is closing. So again, just be careful in who you believe is delivering you real news, because they are not. All right, next one. Disney World removes classic people mover moment. I'm sure that the next time Jennifer Caruso is in Magic Kingdom, she's going to get on People Mover, because every one of us that stream, you got to do People Mover. So Disney World removes this classic People Mover movement. Now, they also, the same company had talked about how this part of People Mover, this was a couple weeks ago, part of People Mover been removed, and it was an original part that they took out. Turns out it was just the turnstile when you go at the bottom of the ramp that they took out. Well, this one now, they're talking about another classic People Mover movement has been taken out. Well, that moment is the Buzz Lightyear narration. Now, why did they take that out? Because they're currently working on Buzz Lightyear. So when you're on People Mover, you have it. You have some black sheathing over the windows there so that you can't see into Buzz Lightyear, but you can see the work lights on, and the work lights were on like probably within 2 days of it closing. It might have even been the next day. So they're getting to work on these projects pretty quickly. But yes, that's the part of People Mover that they removed. Now, would I call it a classic moment? I don't know, because they just did that new narration, 2 years ago maybe? So I don't think I would call it a classic moment, and it's not like Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin has been there from the very beginning of People Mover. But this is how it was written, and that's all that it is. The narration stops talking about Buzz Lightyear because the ride is currently closed. So that was all. I don't know why they make such a big deal of it, but they do. All right, the next one. Disney World strips away free feature after 13 years, shaking up your Disney World vacation planning. Oh my goodness. What free feature did they take away after 13 years? So I've been living with this for 13 years, and they just took it away. So, of course, I had to read the headline, because I'll take the bait so that you don't have to. So this free feature turns out to be, according to the article anyway, turns out to be friends and family. You can no longer add friends and family to your My Disney Experience app. You have to go onto the website in order to do it. And I had just done this with Thad, Theme Park Giant, a couple weeks ago so that he could get the virtual queue. He's very good at getting the virtual queue, by the way. But we had to do that for our annual pass holder preview for Test Track. So he said, well, if you add me as friends and family, then I'll do a virtual queue for you. Sure enough, he gets group 3. He's very good at virtual queues. He actually on his channel has not that we use virtual queues currently, but should they come back for any reason, right? We have all these new rides coming in, so they're probably going to use virtual queues again soon. So go to Theme Park Giant, check out his video on how to get the virtual queue. He's very good at it. Group 3, group 4, always top 5. So anyway, I just did this with him not that long ago. So I tried it last night. It is still on the app. It doesn't make me go to a website or anything like that. So I don't know what they're talking about. Someone actually said in one of their posts that they are AI. And after that person said that, I'm like, that might be right. These headlines could be created by AI because they just don't make sense. Just don't make sense. Next one. Late night Disney travelers hit with a surprise new rule. Hello, Purple Pleasure. Good to see you. Hey, Mom, I'm on the way. As soon as I finish this show, I'm heading to your house. Late night Disney travelers hit with a surprising new rule. So, then here's the other thing about the way their articles are written. It's this long thing, and it goes into, people like to stay late and they watch the fireworks and the new Happily Ever After and the new Disney Starlight Parade. And they go through all this long thing before you actually get to what the actual news is. So the news here is that the minivan service, which not a lot of people take, right? We've done it once because we were staying at, Port Orleans Riverside. We were at Port Orleans Riverside, and we had brunch reservations at Whispering Canyon at Wilderness Lodge. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do we get there? All right, well, let's take a bus from Riverside to Magic Kingdom, and then we'll take the boat over to Riverside, to Wilderness Lodge, or we could take the boat from Riverside to Springs and then take a bus to Wilderness Lodge. So I said, well, instead of doing all that, hey, Roderick, good to see you. Instead of doing all that, let's just go to Rec. We'll take a minivan. It's going to be a couple bucks, but it can't be that bad. And it wasn't. I think it might have been $15 or something like that. But it got us right there from our one resort to the other. Well, anyway, in the app now, because you have to use the Lyft app to get a minivan. So in the app, you can only book up until 1 a.m. That's the story. Minivan service ends at 1 a.m. Now, Uber and Lyft are still around, and minivan is technically a Lyft because you're booking it through the Lyft app. But that's what they made the story about. Some crazy, and it's just, how many of us are taking a minivan after 1 a.m. anyway? I don't get it. And the last one here, jaw-dropping Disney World monorail update may turn your trip upside down. One of the longest headlines, just so wordy. And it has monorail in it, so I had to do this one, right? So they go in, again, it's this long thing about the monorail, and it's a big part of everybody's trip to Disney World, and you may do the monorail crawl. I don't know if any of you know about the monorail crawl. The monorail crawl, where you're visiting all the different resorts and all the different bars in the resorts. That's what this headline is. It's about the bar crawl, the monorail crawl. So this turning your trip upside down, the whole headline behind this was that there's a new bar coming to Grand Floridian. That was it. They did this whole story because there's a new bar coming to the Grand Flo. I don't understand why they have to come up with, just talk about the new bar, show pictures of it, show the progress of it. And then you can go into other, what other entertainment is there in the Grand Flo? You could make a whole story out of it without doing some clickbait headline like they do. I just don't understand. Dianca says, I think about you every time I see these stories. I'm telling you, they're just off the wall. Absolutely off the wall. So, be sure that you know who your news source is, because some of them are just not worthy of our clicks. They do it for money, right? They're monetized on Facebook. They get advertisements. That's the other thing, is when you go through you're trying to scroll through the article, and you've got these pop-ups that take up the whole thing. You got to X out of it, and you have to scroll past all these other advertisements. It's all money that these folks are getting. And a lot of us are not like that. I think about, this show and the podcast that I do and the DSN on Facebook and all that. And we don't have any of that going on, right? We're not monetized. We're not, we don't have advertisers. We don't have sponsors. I'm not saying I wouldn't gladly take a sponsor, or take some ads, but we don't do it for that. They do it for that. That's their main purpose. That's not what we're about. We want to deliver the news. We want to deliver the parks to all of you. And that's similar to everybody. There's Sierra. Good to see you. Everybody in our network is trying to do the same thing. We want to deliver the parks to you. And that's kind of the idea behind the DSN. So they're doing it for money. And it shows. It shows just in how they deliver it. So be careful who you trust for your news source. We are a very good news source. I'm just putting it out there. Dr. Disney, who we get a lot of our news from, one of the reasons that I trust him is he is a third party. So I get most of our news from Disney themselves. And the third party that I do trust is Dr. Disney because of the way that he delivers the news. There's no rumors. And if it is a rumor, he does like this late night Disney thoughts thing that he'll post. And so there's kind of a little bit in that, but it is clearly stated. Whereas a lot of the companies out there that call themselves media don't do it that way. And they just put it out there as if it is gospel, and it is nowhere near that. So just be careful. There are folks that reach out to me on Instagram where they'll see a story like that and they'll be like, "Hey, is this real?" I'll be like, "Where'd you hear it from?" They'll tell me. I'll be like, "Nah, you can trust that source. It is speculation, but you can trust that source." So I'll give you an idea. Good morning, Patrick. Good to see you. So I'll give you an idea. There's a heavy speculation right now. And WDWNT put this out yesterday. And if you ever see Goofy Guy WDW in chat, he works for WDWNT. So there's a heavy speculation that we are getting a Muppet Show reboot, the Muppet Show from the 70s and the 80s that I watched as a kid and absolutely loved it. I want to say it was 7:00 on CBS, if I remember correctly. Absolutely loved it. So that rumor's been floating around a little bit, but then there was in the trades, out in LA, there was a job posting for a Muppet Show pilot that they needed people to come in and audition for. So that has really started to pick up. And then the other part of that rumor is that Seth Rogen may be producing it. So we'll see. Again, that's speculation. Disney Muppets has not put anything out there, but we do know with the 70th anniversary of Muppets, there's been a lot of, between the 70th anniversary Muppets, Muppet Vision closing, and Muppets taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, there's been a lot of talk about Muppets, and this is one of the things that's come out. So hopefully that's the case, because I will certainly sit down and watch the Muppet Show with Finley. We watched some of the old episodes. They're on Disney Plus, and totally enjoy that. So a new version would be great. If you remember, the Muppet Show is like a variety show, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, I would say if that happens, I will be very happy with Disney for sure. Hopefully that happens. I'm trying to think of some of the other rumors that we've heard. The Muppets taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, that was a rumor for a long time. That was out there in the world and ended up being right. So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Sometimes rumors end up being true, and sometimes they do not. I mean, there's a lot of rumors out there about there's a lot of weird rumors out there. So just be careful who you get your news from. And you can always leave us a comment on the show or reach out to me on Instagram or email if you have any questions about, hey, is this really happening? Or I'll be glad to help. So, all right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Monorail Report, brought to you by the DSN. Again, I believe the show should stay right here on Fridays at 11. It will be on the Park Bros channel, the Disney Streamer Network channel, and the Disney Streamer Network Facebook page. So you'll be able to catch it in those places. That's as of right now. That's what we will probably be sticking with. If you have ideas for the show, things you want to talk about, leave me a comment. Let me know. And I will certainly look into adding it. We could add new segments, something else, some other news segment you want to talk about. Let me know. Be glad to look into that. Let me just mention the DSN, obviously, because that's who we're brought to you by. So the DSN today, right now, we have Theme Park Giant is live. Zippity Doo Dug had his show earlier today. You have Theme Park Giant live right now. He's over at Hollywood Studios. What's he getting on? He's about to get on to... Is that Tower? No, where is he? I can't tell. Maybe that's Mickey and Minnie's. Yeah, Mickey and Minnie's. So he's about to get on to Mickey and Minnie's. So as soon as I end here, head on over there. Let me see. Who else do we have? We have... is that it today? That's not it today. They just don't have them scheduled. Maybe Rich, Disney Magic and Mayhem might be going live later on today. And Resort TV 1, Josh is going to be out at the party tonight, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So if you want to see the parade, the Boo to You parade, we know that's a fan favorite. Make sure to go to dsn.disneystreams.com. You can watch everybody that is live all at one time. And then this weekend, you've got a good amount. So tomorrow you have Doug with his show. Score Jason's going to be at Epcot. Living in Diz is going to be at Hollywood Studios. Mouse Talk is at Magic Kingdom. Nope, that's the next day. Heist Piano is going to be live on Sunday with his show. The Disney Baker has his Hangout show. Theme Park Giant's going to go live on Sunday, it looks like. He doesn't normally do the weekend, so that's pretty cool. So you got plenty of streamers to watch this week. It was a great week for a lot of streamers, so make sure that you are supporting all of our streamers in the network. Go to dsn.disneystreams.com, and you can find them all there. And let me see if I can copy this. They're all different. We've talked about this. Sierra and I talked about this last night. You know, everybody has their different way of delivering the parks to you, but at the end of the day, they're all trying to deliver the parks to you. So just make sure to support them all. They're all out there. They are good girls and guys just trying to bring you a little bit of Disney magic. We've got Disney World, obviously. We've got Disneyland. I think we have 4 streamers from Disneyland. And now we have 1 streamer right now, Murray's Adventures in Disneyland Paris. And I'm looking to add 2 more Disneyland Paris streamers here in the next week or so. So expect that to happen soon. So always more to come, trying to bring you more fun. So I'm going to drop Theme Park Giant's link in there. As I'm ending the show now, head on over to Theme Park Giant for some fun over in Hollywood Studios as we get on Mickey and Minnie's, where nothing can stop us now. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate the support as always. Thank you, Sierra, This is the one thing that I was hoping would happen, with the network, but I didn't think it would happen to this extent, is the support that each of the creators are giving each other, and the friendships that are growing out of it are just absolutely amazing. I was hoping for the tech help. Talking about tech, there's, Sierra and Theme Park Giant are probably two of the most techie people in the network. But I thought the tech would be there, but never thought that this amount of support and friendship and togetherness would grow from it. And it's just amazing to see. I even started a Facebook group called Disney Live Streamers, which has already grown in like 3 days to 72 people in that group. So it's for streamers and for people that like to watch Disney live streams. And so there's kind of a way to connect the streamers to the community in a different way, and people are loving that. So if you're on Facebook, head over to Disney Live Streamers. That's the name of the group. You'll see. Let me see if I can show you. Magic Mike, good to see you. Hey, no worries. I'm glad to help yesterday. Anytime somebody has a issue and I can help, I'll be glad to help. So that's what it looks like. Disney Live Stream Connections, or Disney Live Streamers. That's the name of the group. So be sure to check that out. While I'm thinking about it, I'll also show you. I'm also a mod for this group, Disney World for Dads. It's a great group of guys, girls, everybody. It was originally kind of like for dads, but we've really grown it. It's just under 1,500 members right now. So it's a great group of folks. And then the other group that I mod for is Walt Disney World Adults Only. As you can see, it has 213,000 members. And that is a group. We know there's plenty of groups on Facebook for families. Obviously, I just mentioned Disney World for Dads. So obviously we talk about our kids there a lot, but Disney World, or Walt Disney World Adults Only, is the exact opposite, where they don't talk about kids at all. And so, you have people talking about their solo trips and going as an adult and that kind of thing. And it's a great group, very knowledgeable. So make sure, if you're on Facebook, check out those groups. And let's just continue to have a great community. I think Disney's a great community, and it can continue to grow. Yeah, see there, Mike says the community is awesome. I appreciate the kind words, Mike, always. But the community is awesome. Let's just continue to grow. Share this show out, share the network out, and share out your favorite streamers and support them. They're doing a lot of work, and sometimes it's not easy. Tech happens. Your back is hurting. In the summer, it's 100 degrees outside. A ride, you walk all the way across the park and the ride goes down. You have all sorts of stuff that comes up, but they're just trying to bring you some more magic. So anything I can do to help anybody, please let me know. Be glad to help. Leave a comment, message me. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Make sure to watch plenty of Disney live streamers on YouTube. Go to dsn.disneystreams.com and watch them all at one time. Hit play and give them all your support. All right, we appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
This monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.